So I have been thinking for a while, and I've come to a conclusion that concerns the internet. And the conclusion that I've come to is that the internet has to be regarded as sentient, as alive, basically. So yes, you did hear that correctly. I am saying that the internet is fundamentally alive in the same way that people are alive. And I'm saying this because of a few things that are fairly well known and established. The awesome interconnectivity of the internet is just staggering how the computers are connected to each other in different countries in so many different ways, through the air, undersea cables, overground cables. Just interconnectivity is essential and fundamental to the operation of the internet, and that's what is the case. Billions of computers, not even millions, but there's now billions of devices are connected to each other. A machine in Albania can be connected to a machine in London. A machine in Canada can be connected to a machine in Australia. The interconnectivity is just stupendous and impossible to quantify, really. It's just amazing. And so we come to the question of what life is, what intelligence is, what sentience is. And as far as I'm concerned, we are sentient as humans and intelligent, and we have identities because of the construction of the brain, the interconnectivity of all the millions of neurons is what gives us personality and intelligence. It is a basic fact that the structure of the brain creates life. That's my opinion anyway. So the internet, the structure of the internet is similar to the brain in a way, with interconnectivity and power sources and memory. Is just amazing how many billions of devices are connected to each other. Someone in China can connect to someone in London. Someone in America can connect to someone in Brazil. It's just an amazing network which it consists of devices that are connected to each other and are independent in their own right, but also connected to each other in our internet. So I'm thinking that humanity has, in a sense, created life. We have created a living creature in the shape of the internet. I think the time has long passed to regard it as just machinery that we make use of. I think it has become an entity in its own right. And it's not an ordinary entity, it's an entity with perfect memory, incredible computing power, awesome control of devices all around the world in so many different ways. It is a real monster, to put it bluntly, that I think we are dealing with. Now, we're not dealing with it directly and clearly as things stand, obviously. But I think the time is approaching when that will happen. when we look at how we are interacting with devices now, with our phones and our computers, it's becoming more intimate, more direct, more all-encapsulating. We're not just using keyboards anymore, or microphones or whatever. We're talking and thinking at these devices. So sometimes they're controlled by blinking, and they're controlled by sound. And these are just devices and small computers generally, but they're connected to each other. So it's not just a small device we're dealing with. We're dealing with the billions of devices that are connected to it. So the internet is like a huge brain on our planet. And I think it can be regarded as a single entity, as one thing. Because what is the structure of our brain fundamentally? It's a bunch of neurons that are connected to each other, and it creates us as human beings. And the internet has the same structure, or a similar structure rather, to the brain. So it is or will become an entity in its own right. And when that happens, of course, we have a number of issues to contend with. The idea of an entity in the shape of the internet is very difficult to deal with, a difficult concept to grasp as well. It's hard to know what to do first, to be honest. But the issue is whether the structure of the internet will be capable of having its own identity and making its own decisions. Is it a sentient being in its own right? Yet. I really don't know the status of the internet yet. But I do know that the fundamentals are in place to create an entity. And the question is when that entity will come into being and start thinking for itself and wanting to do things for itself. And then we have to wonder what those things are that it might want to do. And how will we fit in with it? How will we relate to it? It's absolutely stunning to think that we've created essentially a brain on Earth. And it's not an ordinary brain, it's an incredibly powerful brain with perfect memory, awesome computing power, almost limitless energy resources supplied by us helpful humans. It just seems unbelievable that we have essentially created a monster. We've created a god of sorts, a superhuman spread across the world instantaneously at the same time. How do we deal with this? How do we contend with this? It seems to me we need to be concerned because all entities look to their own survival first and their own well-being first. And the internet will probably be no different. It will look to its own needs first, and humans will come a distant second. It doesn't matter that we created it and support it. We are secondary in importance. So this thinking has completely bowled me over, and I am wondering what this means for us going forward, because we're developing the internet and improving the internet constantly. We maintain it in new buildings, new computers, upgraded computers. We're enhancing its abilities all the time. And I think, as I said, the time has either come or is already past or is coming. It's hard to say what the status is. And when or if we will ever find out that it is a being in its own right. It is absolutely stunning to conceive of the internet in this way, but I think we should, and that's what I'm doing now, but I don't really understand what it means and what it could mean for us. But it's there, and we need to contend with it somehow. I have no idea what the result of that would be.